let's start with the topic number 1, that is business environment and international business topic. Before going further, try to hit a like button and give your attendance, guys. Shall we start? Best of all 10 units. So this is an actually the concept of international trade theory. International trade theory, this is international business trade theory. In this, the modern theory, which is Porter national competitive advantage theory. Porter national competitive advantage theory, that comes under this. So there are Manu Prasad. Who is boss? Referring to whom? Me or you? So national competitive advantage theory was given by Michael Porter. That is, this is also called as a diamond model. This is also called as a diamond model. It is proposed by the Porter. Main intention of this one is that theory concentrate on firm's home country environment as a main source of competencies, because in my home I have my strength. If I go to others' home, I cannot have my strength, because I cannot show everything whatever I am having. I cannot do everything whatever I require to do by going into other home. So it's like when I am in home country as a business, I can utilize my strength. I can concentrate on my competencies, my strength, my weaknesses, and I can work on the opportunities. So that's main funda of the entire competitive advantage theory. So for this total 4 categories are there to decide that national competitiveness. 4 factors are there, 4 components. Porter's diamonds model is having a first one is that firm strategy, structured and rivalry. Firms, every firm will be having a proper strategy and the structure will be there, and the competitors analysis also will be there. That is how the companies are going to behave, what strategy, vision as well as mission, and how the companies are organized in a hierarchical level, and how the companies are competing each other. Is it a marketing competition? Is it a quality competition? Is it a price competition? And what competition every company is working. That is what the component number 1 or the category number 1 of the Porter generic strategy. Right. So here, next one is that demand condition. Demand condition is another one. So how much demand is there? Domestic market behavior. Understand the own country behavior. Own country behavior. In our country, how the requirement is there? What is the market expectation from the sellers of the industry? Market preferences, market taste and preferences, market behavior, what a client value. So whether the customer value we are providing or not, whatever the price that they pay, that they are paying, are we providing a equal benefit or not? Strength of the demand. So this is the quantity. Strength means quantity of the demand. So here demand conditions are another important factor for to decide the competition or competitiveness. Next, the third component is that factor condition. This is the 2021 question from here. So national resources, factor condition means a resources related. So factor itself is a resource. Factor, if any factor is limited, you cannot do the production. If factors are unlimited, then you can do the production. Factors are sufficiently or abundantly available to the production process. That is a national resources in our country. Suppose our country is a labor resource country. Labor intensive country means more number of laborers or cheap labor is available for doing a quality work. Specialized workers, specialization also, like company secretary is a legal advisor, advocate, economist as well as chartered accountant, auditor. These are all specialized people. Specialized matlab expert in their work. National stability and national culture. All the stability means it's about, you know, our economic stability or else our resources stability also. And national culture, what is our culture may not be a culture available in other country. So both the culture has to be same. And next one is that related supporting industries. Fourth category is that supporting industries. Your company is there, your company related dependent industries will be there. Those are number of companies, how many companies are there like that, specialized business engaged, number of suppliers, similar businesses. If I am producing a cement, matlab how many other like Ultratech as well as the other cement industry. So like that I have to analyze the similar businesses, competitors. How many number of suppliers are there for our business to supply the inputs, and specialized businesses who are working on our own production only, and number of companies involved in this as a related RL supporting industries, right? Next one, this is what actually asked in the 2021 exam. 2021 exam, this is asked. Ambuja, yes, Nakul, correct. Ultratech and Ambuja. But whatever going on, concentrate on that. Legal aspect we'll see later. So theories of internationalization is the most important theories. Actually many theories are available here. Theories of internationalization means process of globalization. How the globalization can be achieved. So for that various theories are given by different authors. In that Upasala model is one of the internationalization theory which is asked in the 2021 examination. Even transaction cost analysis and electric theory or a contingency approach, and interactive or industrial network approach, business strategy approach, bargaining power approach. Let's look into the Upasala model, what actually the model wanted to say. So this model is actually, it's a key proposition is to how the firm is going to develop their activities in the abroad. In the other country, how the firms are going to develop their production or the business activities in other country, the process, how much time they are going to take up for this developing their activities, and the firm proceed in an incremental fashion. Incremental fashion matlab step by step, slowly arranging everything and reaching to a final destination. That comes under here, right? And here second one is that based on the knowledge, incremental fashion, based on the knowledge they have gained. And this assertion is based on fact that firms have first expand into a market which are physically close. Means India is here. Suppose India is here means I should first invest in Sri Lanka, later Nepal, later Afghanistan, which are near to me. Correct na? Bangladesh. Like this, which are near to me, first I should concentrate on expanding a market in international market in first geographical wise. Physically, geographically close, you need to choose. And slowly gain the experience and knowledge, then experiential knowledge you will get it. Second stage. That which they use for distance market means something far away markets also you can use. Far away, geographically far away markets also you can invest. After investing in a nearby countries, you can go for a far countries when they stretch their boundaries. For example, North American company like say Kellogg's would expand domestically into the regions which are geographically closer to the North American company. So in a same way, Indian companies also have to perform their activities. Similar countries or a similar nature of countries. This is how you can look at. First, you can look at this chart. Here market A, B, C, D is there, na? Like that number of markets are available. And here slowly, no regular export is a stage number 1. In this what we are doing actually, if in India, our company has satisfied the demand which is available in India, we are having excessive stock produced unnecessarily, which is beyond the Indian demand. Then that extra whenever we are getting that extra stock or extra products, that we will be selling it a international business at an international level. That is what a sporadic export or at no regular export. Only ad hoc basis, temporary basis. Whenever you get extra production, you will sell in the international markets. That's what the stage number 1. Stage number 2 is that independent representative, means slowly regular exports will start. That is what independent representative. And after that, foreign sales subsidiary. You will go and buy another country, in the other country you will invest much and you will become a subsidiary of the foreign country. So foreign sales subsidiary means you will try to set up your own setup there or, for the production purpose. And final one is that for the production and sales both. This is production and sales. This is only sales. Sales subsidiary you will be setting up here. Manufacturing setup also will be done in the final stage. That comes under Upasala model, 4 stages. First, no regular export, sporadic, export via independent representative, and establish a foreign sales subsidiary, foreign production and manufacturing of the unit are the 4 stages. This stages got asked in the 2021 examination. Alright, so I am moving further. If you look at our remaining theories, here Upasala model is the experiential knowledge, mainly concentrating on the firm only, not on the country. So here electric theory are at TCA, which is transaction cost analysis. How much cost that you are incurring for doing a transaction at an international level. This is also firm based. Every firm will have their own transaction cost. After that, industrial network, which is based on the interaction with other countries. It could be a firm to firm interaction, firm to other country interaction, other country customers interaction, and competitors interaction, suppliers within the market environment interaction. So this is a base for this industrial networks theory. Business strategy theory is an opportunity, resources and managerial philosophy. So what type of strategy to be used to go into the international business? What type of strategy? You have to take the opportunity whenever it is coming or creating in the market. Who are not in that opportunity, you should go for that opportunity and create and try to invest in those type of new and innovative ones. Properly utilize the our country resource and other country resources both. And managerial philosophy is nothing but every company will be having a proper nature of their management, because their management is head office may be located in India, that is ethnocentric, polycentric, regiocentric, geocentric. This one will be there now, that comes under here. Right. Next, a bargaining power theory is based on the negotiation. How much you are able to bargain slowly, because this type, this is not about the customers bargaining. This is a bargaining about the firm. How much capacity you are having to enter into that country to start your production or to start your international business. This is simply about the overview of international theories. Right. International theory is different. International business theories, that is different. Adam Smith, that 8 theories are there now. Global rivalry theory and this national competitive advantage, product life cycle theory, that is different. These are the theories of internationalization. Internationalization theories, these are. Both are different. And recently another question is that USMCA, United States Mexico Canada Agreement, USMCA. Previously this USMCA was called as an what agreement? NAFTA. This was a NAFTA, old NAFTA. Now it is new NAFTA. North American Free Trade Agreement, which was this as converted into an USMCA on July 1st, 2020. July 1st, 2020. So from that date onwards, NAFTA became USMCA having 3 countries, United States, Mexico, Canada. So these 3 countries main issues are what? Actually, importing requirement under the USMCA being phased in, whether the new rules of origin for the motor vehicles industries are being implemented as planned. So they have planned a one motor vehicle industries in these 3 countries, as well as how the North American vehicle industry is being affected by more stringent requirement, and how well Mexico is implementing labor. Mexico for a labor law reforms to provide more worker rights protection. How well funding is provided by USMCA legislation, ensuring that effective implementation of Mexico reform means labor law reforms, and how well the labor enforcement measures including a rapid response mechanism and working. Among the other issues to USMCA updated dispute resolution procedures which are improvising. Simple sense, I will tell you the main total, the theme of this USMCA. USMCA is for the three countries, USA, Mexico, Canada. These three countries agreed upon some industrial business purpose to reduce the rules and to reduce the barriers between the country on the particular industries. Majorly motor vehicle industries, they wanted to implement thoroughly in these three countries. They wanted to develop that industry. Second one is that labor law reforms has to be brought in these three countries, which is a common agenda of this USMCA agreement. Mainly the trade policy making. All right. Next, another important question which is appeared from the WTO, World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization. If you like this session, please do hit a like button, guys. WTO, actually location Geneva, established 1st January 1995. Uruguay round, this has been initially 1944. At the time this WTO was initially not a WTO, that was GATT, G-A-T-T, GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, right? 1986 to 94, Uruguay round was happened. That Uruguay round converted this GATT into a WTO, World Trade Organization. And this World Trade Organization, after the announcement, it is having now 164 members, represented by 98% of the world trade. This total 164 member countries are representing 98% of the entire world trade. What are the business is happening? 197 million Swiss francs for the 2020 year. 197 million. And here secretariat total 623 members are there. Head is that present director general is that you can read this name. If you want me to zoom, I will zoom. I will zoom in. But I cannot spell this. Okonjo Avila. Okay, let it be. And what are the functions of this WTO, by? What are the functions of this WTO? Now visible. Okay. Function is that administer the WTO trade agreement, forum for trade negotiations, negotiation between the countries, and handling the trade dispute if any dispute is happening between the countries, monitoring the national trade policies, monitoring the technical assistance and training for developing countries. Technical assistance means in execution of the support for implementation of the trade. Support for the trade is called as a technical assistance, like getting a permissions, approval, all those. Cooperation with other international organization. Other international organization like IMF is the best example. Right. So next, principles are more important. Principles are more important. Look at, establishes a framework for a trade policies, does not define a specific outcome. It is concerned with setting the rules for the trade policy game, but not the result of a game. So here we need to make some rules. Those rules are having 5 principles. The rules follow the 5 principles. No discrimination between the member countries. There should not be any discrimination between the member countries. There should not be any discrimination. Reciprocity. It means practice of exchanging things with others for a mutual benefit, especially the privilege granted by one country or organization to another. The privilege having, by joining into the WTO organization, you will have some privileges, which non-members of WTO will not be having. So reciprocity means the privileges will be having only these 164 member countries, not for the other countries. After that, enforceable commitment. If something WTO is giving as a rule, they need to implement mandatorily at any case. And here, transparency. There should be accountability and transparency. It should not be any type of fake things or dishonest things should happen in the WTO. And safety valves. What is the safety valves? Valve is opens automatically to relieve the excessive pressure. It means giving harmless when to your feelings and tension of others. Means safety valves means giving an assurance type. There is no mistake is going to happen. You are secured, and for doing a trade in this country, that country, which are 164 countries. Next, economics. Very sorry. Visible, this one. Change in demand. Change in demand. Okay. Here, change in demand can happen in two ways. Due to the price change, how the demand is going to be impacted. Other than the price, due to the factor other than the price, means price of the related goods and taste and preferences, technology, all the remaining factors comes under the determinants of demands will be there now. Other than, here the price is the one determinant which is impacting on demand. When the other factor, other determinants are impacting, then this will happen. When the price changing, movement of the curve will happen. Movement could be extension or contraction. Means price is changing from here to here, then demand is moving from here to here. So here whatever happened is an expansion or extension, which means increase in demand due to the decrease in price. And increase in price led to reduce in price. Due to this, contraction happened. Means contraction means decrease in demand due to the increase in price. So extension, contraction, this total is called as an movement of the curve. Movement of the curve. And here increase and decrease in demand. Increase and decrease in demand. Here, other than the price, if any factor is getting impacted, other than the price, increase in demand, decrease in demand. Shift in demand curve. Shift in demand curve, increase in demand and decrease in demand. Here, increase in demand lead to whenever the other factor other than the price changes, demand is coming from this D to D1. And when the price is, other than the price, if any factor is changing, then demand is coming down from here to here. So here the curve entirely getting shifted. Curve is getting shifted to another place than the original place. So that due to other factor, shift in demand curve is going to happen, which is decrease and increase in demand. Alright. So that's about the decreasing and increasing. Next, there are five types of elasticity is there. 5 types of elasticity is there. So that is perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, relatively elastic, relatively inelastic, unitary elastic. So perfectly elastic situation is that small change in a price lead to infinite change in the demand. Small change in the price, this small change in the price due to infinite change in the demand, like this it will go. It will keep on increasing only, small change only. That's what the perfectly. It is like, gold is the best example where small change in the price will lead to demand will go up like anything. That's what infinity, where elasticity is equal to infinity. Here the demand curve is an horizontal straight line and parallel to the x-axis. Alright, horizontal to the x-axis and parallel to the x-axis and horizontal in nature. This is horizontal in nature. This is vertical in nature, right? Next, perfectly inelastic situation where it is zero. Perfectly inelastic means zero. When the change in price does not bring any change in the demand. Change in price does not bring any change in the demand. So demand curve is going to be vertical axis. If you look at over here, change in A large change in the price is there, but there is no change in the demand. Zero change in the demand. This is vertical in nature. Vertical in nature. So vertical and parallel to the x-axis. Next, a unitary elastic. Proportionate change in this change. Proportionate change in price equal to proportionate change in demand. Proportionate change in price equal to proportionate change in, both are equal. So when the equal change or equal proportional change is happening, then that will be a unitary elastic, which is rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. Next, relatively elastic, which is greater than but less than unity, less than infinity. So less than infinity but greater than 1. That is, if a proportionate change in a demand is more than proportionate change in a price. Look at proportionate change in a demand, this is more. Proportionate change in a demand is more than the proportionate change in a price, and this is proportionate change in a demand less than the proportionate change in a price. This is relatively inelastic, this is relatively elastic. So here the curve is how, what is the nature of the curve? In case of relatively elastic, which is greater than 1, inelastic less than 1, here the demand curve is flatter and here the demand curve is steeper. Look at here, the demand curve is flatter in nature. Here the demand curve is somehow steeper in nature, like this it is there, somehow steep. Am I clear? Chalo, next topic. Most important, most repetitive topic is this one, by because total revenue elasticity related question they are asking. You can look at when the price changes, how it is going to impact on the total revenue at a different point of elasticities. When the price change, increase in price, reduce in price. Increase in price and reduce in price. And here, whenever price rises, in case of elastic situation, in case of inelastic situation, in case of equal situation. Very clear, when the equal is there, change is nothing. Whenever equal to 1, change is nothing. No change will happen. Unitary price elastic. Increase in price, reduction in price. No change in the total revenue, because total revenue does not change. Total revenue does not change as the price changes. Now, whenever price increases, total revenue will come down, total revenue will increase. Total revenue will come down in case of elastic in nature, which is more than 1. Elastic in nature, which is more than 1. So, increase in price lead to decrease in total revenue, decrease in price lead to increase in total revenue. Here total revenue in the direction of the quantity change. When increase in price lead to less quantity, increase in price lead to less quantity, so that revenue fall down. Reduction in price lead to increase in quantity of the purchase, which will increase the revenue. Are you getting the point? Are you getting the point? So here, whenever price increases, if the price is 10 rupees, I bought 100 units. If the price went up to 20 rupees, I will buy only 50 units. Now my revenue come down. Revenue will come down. If price is from the 10 rupees to 5 rupees is there, my quantity of a production will, quantity of a purchase will increase. Instead of a 10 units, so instead of 100 units, I will buy 150 or 200 or 300 units I will buy. At that time, because whenever price decreases, the response will be more and they will buy more quantity of it easily. And here money is not constant. Understand that point. I never said money is constant. Price changing, how the impact on the revenue. And here price inelasticity means whenever price rises, total revenue decreases if it is elastic situation, and total revenue increases if it is an inelastic situation. Inverse relation. Whenever price falls, total revenue increases and total revenue decreases. So price inelastic situation, increase in price lead to increase in total revenue, and decrease in price lead to decrease in total revenue. This is inelastic situation. What is inelastic situation? Go and check. Go and check inelastic situation. Inelastic situation, proportionate change in demand less than the proportionate change in price. Proportionate change in demand less than the proportionate change in price means demand change is less as compared to the price change. As compared to the price change. The first situation is that proportionate change in demand is more than the proportionate change in price. Second situation is that proportionate change in demand is less than the proportionate change in price. So in this case, when the proportionate change in demand is less due to the change in price, so whenever the price increases, total revenue will increase because demand is not reacting much towards the price. When the reduction in price lead to reduce in total revenue. Both are direction of the price change. Here total revenue direction is due to price change. Here total revenue direction due to quantity change. I'm sorry. Due to quantity change in the more than one situation, less than one price change situation. Due to the price change only revenue is getting changed. Here revenue is getting changed due to quantity change. Clear, clear, clear. Am I clear? Because this concept is getting repeated again and again they are asking this question. Shift number 1 asked, shift number 2 also asked, except a shift number 3, 2 shift they asked this question. Next, properties of indifference curve, most important by properties of indifference curve. I think visible clearly this one, I will zoom it. So first one is that marginal rate of substitution, MRS. Marginal rate of substitution meaning is that how much of one commodity is substituted for another. One commodity, this is a ratio of a substitution for one and other commodity, X and Y. How much X I need to substitute for the Y to increase their consumption. To increase X consumption, how much Y I have to sacrifice. To increase Y consumption, how much X I have to sacrifice. That's what comes under here. Right? Good evening. Marginal rate of substitution, and this is indicated by slope of indifference curve, IC curve at a particular point. MRS indicates movement along an indifference curve. How the indifference curve is getting changed, in the same way it will be. So MRS show decrease in trend similar to the concept of diminishing marginal utility. It is reducing trend or decreasing trend comes under here. And after that, property of the indifference curve. Look at property of the indifference curve. Number 1 property, downward sloping. Question is 2021, 2 shifts questions are why, not why, reason for indifference curve downward sloping. That's what the question. 5 statements or 6 statements were given, I think. 5 or 6 statements were given. They asked this question. Out of that, all the remaining are not the points, because here the remaining property also they will give it in the option. But these properties of remaining indifference curve remaining properties are not the reason for downward sloping. Only these 2 are the reasons. Only these 2 are the reason, because IC curve is negatively sloped is one of the reason. This is because when the quantity of one commodity is increased, quantity of other commodity is getting reduced. And this is an essential property of the indifference curve if the level of satisfaction is to remain same on an indifference curve. Because of the marginal rate of substitution, is it going to be indifference curve downward sloping? That is also could be a reason. But thus that will be a reason. On what basis this marginal rate of substitution will be a reason for indifference curve? Because this is the one which is creating a convexity. Convex of indifference curve. Convex is nothing but slope downwards from left to right again. Right? So this could also be a reason for this downward sloping. Convex to the origin, it is L-shaped to origin and which are bent instead of right angle, and this is due to diminishing rate of marginal rate of substitution. Due to the marginal rate of substitution only it is getting convex to the origin. This convex to the origin means this only. Again, convex to the origin means indifference curve slope downwards from left to right. That will be the reason. Next, a third property is that on all point at indifference curve gives us same satisfaction. Yes, same satisfaction, same satisfaction, same satisfaction, same. All these points will give you same satisfaction. But every indifference curve, higher the indifference curve, higher the satisfaction. Lower one, lower will be satisfaction. And higher the level, that is what? Higher the level of satisfaction. Higher IC gives higher satisfaction to a consumer. And non-intersecting. At any case, this indifference curves are going to intersect by. At any case, this indifference curve are going to intersect. It will never come like this. It will never come like this. It will never intersect as such. That won't happen. That is another property. No two IC will cut or intersect each other. That's non-intersecting. Next, aa gaya bhai. Another important. Market structures. Yes. Correct, Rahul. Superb. The point is that, yes, he told one point correctly because that is also asked in the exam. Indifference curve, no need to be a parallel. Here, indifference curve is there, na? Like this. Now, here the same parallel we can see. But is it to be like this only? It can be like this also. It never touch. But it could be like this. And it could be like this also. No need to be parallel. No need to be parallel. There is no parallel here. Still that is the indifference curve. But it will never touch. There should not be any touching between these two. That's what the another property which is asked recently. Alright. So by next one is that market structures. Market structure, perfect competitive, monopolistic, oligopoly, monopoly. Hero is that monopoly. Hero. Because here perfect competition, large number of sellers, large number of buyers will be there and selling a same product, identical homogeneous product. Whereas monopolistic, large number of sellers and buyers, here differentiated products, large number of buyers and sellers, here also, here homogeneous, same product, here the different product. Right. So here entry and exit is free and here also almost free entry, free exit. Even though very low, it is free entry, free. Here firms are price takers because demand and supply will determine the prices. Industry is a price maker. Market is a price maker. Demand and supply are the price makers. These perfect competition are just a price taker only. Next is that firms are price maker. Most important. How it could be a maker? Because every product is different by. Who will decide the price then? They themselves will decide the price. For each and every product, they themselves will decide the price. That is what a price maker. Subject to price ceiling, price flooring of governments. Right? So taxi companies, hairdressers, these are comes under the monopolistic. Next, oligopoly is then another one. Here, very small number of sellers will be there, but that small numbers are very large companies, very bada companies. Those are, big four firms as well as OPEC countries. Those are high level of differentiation. Different products will be there. So they will be having a different products. And here entry and exit is very high. It is not that much easy to entry, easy to exit. High restrictions will be there. Restrictions on entry and exit. And here very high. So here firms are just price makers. Why the firms are price makers? They will form the cartels. Cartel means common objective groups. Cartel means common objective groups, comes under this cartel. They'll form a group, they will decide the prices, and nobody should go beyond these prices, nobody should sell below these prices. Like that, there is a feature of price rigidity will be there in the oligopoly. Rigidity means based on the price, no decisions are going to happen. In the oligopoly, based on the price, no decisions are going to happen. That's what a price rigidity. They will avoid the price war. They will avoid the price war. They will not involve in the price war. Because surviving is more important than gaining high profits in the short run. Their aim is to survive in the market. Gain the market share is important. And sustaining is more important than gaining high profits in the short run. They will not aim for the short run. Their aim is always avoiding a price war. So not to create a disturbances between the big companies. And monopoly. Here monopoly is only a single seller. A unique product will be sold. Best example our railway. So very high entry and exit will not be that much easy. Individual firm set the price. Yes, he is the monopoly is the one who will set the price. Monopoly is the one who will set the price in the monopoly market. But here another point of understanding is required. What is that another type of understanding? Let me show you here. This is asked in the 2020 examination, 2021 examination. High to low, correct? Price discrimination. High in which market, low in which market? Price discrimination or price penetration, say. Price discrimination or price penetration, I believe. So, price elasticity of a demand and product differentiation. Price elasticity of a demand, in case of perfect competition, it is high. Infinite means perfect competition, price elasticity is going to be high. And in monopoly, lowest. If I have to arrange from the high to low, means descending order. Low to high means ascending order. So ascending or descending order, perfect competition number 1 high, and after that monopolistic competition, after that oligopoly will come, later monopoly will come. So this is the highest and this is the lowest. Of what? Price elasticity, highest and lowest. Are you getting the point? Highest is price perfect competition, lowest is monopoly. In case of price elasticity, this is the situation. Alright. If they are asking descending order, ulta, monopoly will come on the top. Small will be high, small will be first, later high will be last. After that, here number of sellers wise also, if you wanted to see the same sequence will come. Same number of sellers also, perfect competition number 1, number 2 monopolistic, number 3 oligopoly, number 4 monopoly. And product differentiation. Product differentiation will be here perfect competition, no product differentiation. Monopolistic, there is a slight product differentiation. Oligopoly, none to substantial. And after that, extreme case is that much product differentiation. High product differentiation is going to be there in the monopoly. Highest is monopoly, lowest is perfect competition in case of product differentiation. Right? And in case of degree of control over the price, by this is the shift 1 question, this is the shift 2 question in the 2020. Please go and check, I am not telling on the air. Every question we solved in the Plus platform and in the free platform also, YouTube also. I have solved all the questions. Then go and check, you can find these questions. Degree of control over the price. Price control wise, perfect competition is low. price control wise. High will be monopoly, and second will be oligopoly, third will be monopolistic, fourth extreme means there is no change, there is no control over the price, there is no price penetration decision, which is perfect competition. So high to low control, high to low control, high control monopoly, low control perfect competition. If they are asking descending order, this is a sequence. If they are asking increasing order, then ulta, perfect competition, monopolistic, oligo, mono. All right. This is the total market types and their controllability, elasticity, differentiation and all this. Now, let's move into the another part. Shall we? So here, I will share the PDF in the Telegram, do not worry about it. By positive cross elasticity, negative cross elasticity. We know very well there are, first, what do you mean by cross elasticity demand? What do you mean by cross elasticity demand? Cross elasticity demand is a change in demand is not going to happen because of the price. Change in demand is going to happen because of the change in price of related commodities. Related commodities means complementary substitutes. Correct now? Related. If the price of the related commodities, that is price of the substitute changes, demand of our product will change. Price of the complementary changes, demand of our product will change. That's what a cross elasticity of a demand. That is what cross elasticity of a demand. Right? So here, in case of substitute goods, positive cross elasticity. In case of complementary goods, negative cross elasticity. In case of substitute, suppose rise in price of the coffee, from here to here, 10 rupees to 20 rupees, will lead to increase in demand 1 T to 10 T's, like that. So because of the price change in the coffee lead to increase in price of coffee, lead to increase in quantity of the demand, increase in quantity demand of a other product, which is a substitute product called as an T. So here curve slope upward from left to right, that is what. So this will be a positive relation. All right. So price of one product impacting on the other substitute product demand. Negative in case of complementary. This is also asked in the 2021. Same statements are appeared already. This is direct relationship or positive. Rise in price of the bread from 10 rupees to 20 rupees. Then the demand of the butter is getting reduced. Demand of the butter is getting reduced. When the price is increased from P to P1, quantity demand is getting reduced for another. So price of the bread increase and the quantity demand of the butter is getting down due to these both are, bread and butter are complementary. Together, put together we will be using. Rise in price of the bread will lead to bring down the demand of the butter. The curve slope downward from left to right. That comes under the complementary goods. Alright. So the same statements are getting repeated. They will, when they given in the statement form. Now though everything crystal clear. When they are asking in the exam in a statement form, now our confusion will start. Complementary, positive, negative relation. At that time, our example which will make or create in our mind, that is also ulta example will come. Ulta price and petrol and car you will take, which are complementary product. So our overall, like, overthinking will be applied in the exam. Complementary you will give it as positive, substitute you will give it as negative in the exam hall. This will happen. So what are substitute goods? Substitute goods are those goods which can be used in place of one another. One is substituting for another. Coffee with a tea. Coffee replaced with a tea. Tea replaced with a coffee. Used together is called as an complementary goods. Here tea and coffee, Coke and Pepsi, tea and sugar, car and petrol comes under here. And here positive relationship and negative relationship. This is a competitive demand and this is a joint demand. Joint demand is an complementary. Competitive demand is a substitute. Right? Next, income elasticity. Final one, income elasticity of demand. The demand is going to change due to the change in income, not to the price. Look at a measure of how the demand of a product changes when a people income changes. When a people income changes. Three types. Negative income elasticity demand, positive income elasticity, zero income. Negative is associated with a low quality, inferior goods. Positive income elasticity associated with a superior goods, which are high quality, luxurious goods. And zero income elasticity, sticky goods. These are necessaries. These are necessaries. Alright, necessaries are comes under the zero elasticity demand. Now if you look at their clear-cut picture, here negative income elasticity of demand means cheap cars. When my income rises, I stop buying cheap cars. I stop buying inferior goods when my income rises. That is why negative income elasticity. When my income rises, I will buy more of vacations abroad, means more luxury goods I will buy. That is positive relation with the income and demand. So essential or necessary goods less than unity are equal to 0, which is less than proportionate change in sales. And comforts or semi-luxuries are almost equal to the unity, which is proportionate change in the almost a proportionate change. This is less than. And luxuries are which are positive. Positive means the associated with the superior quality, greater than unity, more than proportionate change in sales. Done. Sorry bhai, in between so much cough and sneezing. Normal goods comes under where? By normal goods to superior quality, positive. They are under the positive. Always remember, normal indicates a superior or high quality goods which are positive in nature. Don't understand normal goods as a zero. Don't go for that. Normal is superior, which is positive income elasticity of demand. Positive income elasticity of demand. So the topics today, topic number 1 is that this one. Is it visible properly? Good evening. Hello. Visible, right? Okay. Done. Those who can't see properly, kindly increase your resolution so that it will be visible properly. I'm perfectly all right now. In the morning there was a pain, ankle pain here, the shoulder pain was there. So otherwise now it is okay. Due to that accident by this was. Chalo. There are 5 stages of group formation. This is related to business management. 5 stages of group formation. Right? 5 stages of group formation. So the 5 stages are what? What are the 5 stages? What are the 5 stages? Forming a group, storming a group, norming a group, performing, as well as adjourning. Adjourning. F, S, N, P, A. This is the sequence of group formation. In this stage number 1, members get to know each other and establish the ground rules. They will introduce themselves and they will interact with each other. They'll get to know about themselves and they'll create a certain standard rules to be followed while be in the group, right? That is the number one. After that, storming. Members come to resist a control by the group leaders and show the hospitality. Here one leader will be there. Here they themselves will create the rules unanimously by the group, only unanimous rules will be made by them. After that, here they will elect one person as a group leader to have the control over all the group members and show the hospitality. Next, a third one is that norming. Here members are going to work together. They will work together. Now after having a leader, now the time for the work. They'll work together, develop a close relationship also, and feeling of comrade. Feeling of comrade means it's a mutual association. A mutual relationship or association. A proper healthy environment they'll try to create. So that comes under the norming. Next, stage number 4, performing. Performing is an group member works towards getting their jobs done. Individual. This is like, cooperative approach. Cooperative means individually every person will try to do their own work. Later, once everybody doing their own work, obviously group work will be completed, because the target is that when you assign an individual work to each of the person, so whoever is completing their task, cumulatively the group task is going to be completed. Next, the fifth one is that adjourning, which is out of whenever they are executing a task, obviously group may discard either a goals or a members. So those who are not doing their work properly, they will be removed from the group. Those who are working very hard for the entire outcome of the group, then they will be getting award also. Award or a reward or else having a punishment, everything will happen in the adjourning stage. That is a result stage. I would say this is a final evaluation or a result stage. This is a final evaluation or a result stage of the group. So this is how the group will get formulated. This is how group will get formulated. Forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. FSNPA. Right? Next concept, which is asked in 2021. Yes, inefficient ones need to be removed and efficient ones need to be appreciated. Both ways. So here, there are styles of leadership. Out of that, most important two styles are transformational, transactional. The question was asked on transactional leadership. This transactional style of leadership first given by whom? Max Weber initially given. Max Weber initially given in 1947, then by the Bernard Bass in 1981. So Max Weber and Bernard Bass in 1981. The transactional leadership, transformational, both are different. Transactional and transformation. Transformation means bringing a radical changes. Bringing a radical change comes another transforming. Kindly hit a like button. And those who are new, hit a like button and do subscribe to the channel. Here, transactional leaders occurs when the followers are moved to complete their roles as agreed with a leader in exchange of a reward. In exchange, they'll focus on the goals. They'll use the rewards and punishment for a motivation, are reactive in nature. Means, suppose I announced I am going to give you a 50,000 cash reward whoever is going to top in this exam. This is what the announcement made by me. Assume only, don't ask me 50,000. So that is when I given that announcement, almost many students competed to give that exam, give that mock test. Then everybody tried to attain the top 1 position. Everybody tried their best to get it because they want the reward. Reward is a motivation for them to do that particular task of getting top. So here transactional leaders are like that only. They will move their followers by having a reward whoever is performing well and giving a punishment whoever is not doing well. That's how the transactional leader, because they are transacting with a work in the way to get the work done in a best and efficient manner. Whereas transformational leaders are, They'll move the followers to awareness about what is important and away from the self-interest. Means your individual agenda is not important, your group interest only much important here. Stay away from the own self-interest. Don't be a self-centered and work for your selfish goals only. Work for the company or work for the entire group task or group goal. Focus on the vision. Use the charisma and enthusiasm for a motivation. And they are, transformational leaders. The best example is like APJ Abdul Kalam. Those are bringing a transformational changes. Like MS Dhoni in the cricket. So they are proactive in nature. They are proactive in nature to bring major changes, means a future. These people are reactive in nature. React towards only certain things, rewards. Here, future oriented people. Future oriented people comes under here. Right? Next year, characteristics of transactional leadership, which was given in the 2021 exam, reveal inefficiency. Yes, whoever is not performing well will get to know by announcing a reward and punishments. And very left brain means one-sided thinking only, because they are reactive in nature. Tend to be inflexible also. They are not flexible with what the reward is getting. Means flexible in the sense, everybody will try their best, but only some person will get the reward. So it is not flexible to change the rewards. Rewards are given and finalized by the leader, so that is not flexible to the followers. Opposed to a change, they don't want to change. And focus on short-term goals only. Favor a structured policies, always a structured. If you are bringing a new policies, these people will oppose. They don't want to be in a new policies like a government employees, right? And thrive on following the rules and doing the things correctly rather than bringing a new changes. They are resistant to the change. That's about the transactional and transformational leader, right? Next, there is another question which is asked in the 2021 examination. Guys, members and the likes are not matching. If you like the session, kindly hit a like button only one time, or a 3 times, or as 5 times, only odd number. Don't hit a even number. If you dislike the session, kindly hit a dislike button also. Next, Jim Collins. As per the Jim Collins, there are 5 levels of this individual, I will say. So 5 characteristics, 5 levels of a leader. 5 levels of a leader. So Jim Collins in book Good to Great. Good to Great is a book name, and Collins is the author who written this book. He pointed out what kinds of characteristics you need to be in top 5 leaders. The characteristics of leader, good leader. 5 characteristics or 5 levels of characteristics of a good leader. A leader is paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. This is what the important point which is told by him. Leader is not the one who is looking for a personal only. He must have the personal as well as professional. Both capabilities must be there. Both capabilities must be there. And here you can see how many levels are there. Highly capable individual, contributing team member, competent manager, effective leader, and level 5 is executive leader. First type of leader are makes a productive contribution through talent, knowledge and skills and good work habits. So they are capable as an individual. Individually you are capable to do this task, whatever the task assigned to that one. So you are, based on your capability, you can handle the person as a leader, whoever is going to have the same capability or who is under the same zone of work. So makes a productive contribution. He will try to give his most knowledge and talent to the work as much as capable. Next, contributing to a team member means, this is when you look at the individual as a leader. Individual. Next is that contributing team member contributes to the achievement of a group objectives, work effectively with others in a group. So who wish to work in a group, The second category of a leader who wish to work for the group, collaborative mechanism or a cooperative mechanism will be there. Collaborative because they work efficiently with a group setting. In a group setting with others he is going to work. Next is a competent manager. Next is a competent manager. So competent manager is, it organizes the people and resources towards effective and efficient pursuit of predetermined objective. Predetermined means already decided vision and mission will be there now. Vision, mission, those things. For those only this person as a leader, he will be try to attain that vision and mission and objective and goals of the organization. Right? Organize the people, they'll arrange the people, they'll arrange the resources effectively, efficiently. They'll make the people to work for that particular goal which the company already decided. That is competent manager. This is what the 2020 same statement copy and pasted in the exam as it is without even changing also. Next, but you know, they asked about a competent manager in the question. The options were 4 options are there. So there will get a confusion. Out of that, level number 3 is a competent manager which we need to choose it. Next is that effective leader is that it catalyzes a commitment to and vigorous pursuit of a clear and compelling vision. Of a clear and compelling vision, it stimulates the group to a high performance standards. High performing standard. So here effective leader is nothing but this type of leader try to take maximum highest from each of the follower to achieve high performance standard. Maximum performance will be taken from the followers and he will also put maximum to the best for fulfilling the commitment that is assigned to him. This is what effective leader. He will try everything to a maximum extent. Compelling, vision, stimulate. No need to tell any, like others won't tell to him. He himself will take initiation to do anything. Level number 5 is the executive, which is the highest level. They build a enduring greatness through paradoxical combination and personal humility and professional will. Both. Here this is the highest level where the personal humility and the professional skill both will be clubbed up and ensuring that to achieve all the things which the company made it or which the team is having a goal. Right? That comes under the level number 5 executive. Am I clear by? Highly capable individual contributing to a team and competent manager. First individual, later team, third one competency, effectively has to achieve the objective of organization. Next, effectiveness of the leader. After that, executive level. Executive level is a final one. Blend of personal and professional both. Correct? Chalo. Next concept. Very easy. Most important. Always there is a one question. You just write on your paper. One question guaranteed from here. 100% one question will be pakka. Damn sure. From here only 100% question will come. 100% one question will come here only, from here only. Hello Abhishek Sharma. Capital structure theories. Capital structure theories. How many theories are there for deciding a capital structure? First decide what is capital structure. Capital structure means proportion or a mix of various capitals. That is how much proportion of equity, how much proportion of a debt, how much proportion of a preference that we need to keep it in our capital structure. But usually this theories, capital structure theories assumes only there are two capitals. One is equity, one is debt. So based on that assumption only all the categorization of 4 theories are there. There are 2 categories of theories in the capital structure. One is relevant approaches, irrelevant approaches. Relevant theories or irrelevant theories. Relevant theory means the theories, the capital structure theory Because of change in capital structure, is there any impact on the value of the firm? If the value of the firm is going to change when you change the capital structure, that is relevant approaches or relevant theories. As per the two relevant approaches are there. What are the two relevant approaches? Net income approach, traditional approach are comes under the relevant. Right? Relevant. Net income and traditional theory. Whereas when the capital structure, change in a capital structure doesn't affect the value of the firm, that comes under the irrelevant, which is this Envo and Modi-Gilani-Miller approach, irrelevant approaches. They are irrelevant approach which is not going to impact on the value of the firm. Alright. Now what is net income approach? What are their assumptions? What is traditional assumption? Net operating assumption, Modi-Gilani assumption. Just simply if you can understand the assumption, then it will be easy for you to deal the questions in the exam, because they are directly hitting the question from the assumptions only. Net income approach, it is suggested by David Durant or David Durant. This is the capital structure decision is relevant, means the decision of change in capital structure will impact on the valuation of the firm. Assumptions are there are no cost in the sense no transaction cost, no flotation cost also. No transaction and flotation cost both. Right? And cost of debt is KD is less than KE as per the net income David Durant. That is cost of debt, because debt is a cheaper source of capital as compared to the equity. Let me tell you one more point. Just now we solved a question before coming to this class. In the plus session we solved one question. Why cost of equity will be more as compared to the cost of debt? Due to the risk association. The more risk is attached to the equity, that is why cost of debt usually having a less charge, only interest is there, that too tax saving is available to the cost of the debt. So cost of debt is a cheaper source, and debt is a cheaper source of capital where only interest is to be paid, no dividend is to be paid. That is fixed interest which is tax deductible. Whereas the equity shareholder will be having, when you increase the proportion of a debt, obviously equity shareholder will be feeling insecure, and because of that they'll expect more and more returns, which is a risky nature to the entire firm. So because of that only cost of equity usually be more as compared to the cost of debt. Right? So next, the use of debt do not change the risk perception of the investor. Now look at the use of debt. Here, as per the net income approach, whether you use more debt or less debt or no debt, that is not going to change the risk perception of the investor who is the equity holder. Whatever I told, that won't apply over here in this net income approach. Next is that there are no taxes in the economy, which is a Pagal assumption. This is the same assumption will be there in almost all the theories where there are no corporate taxes. This is impossible in the practical present world. Right? These are the assumptions. Next, look at the traditional theory. Right combination of equity and debt in the capital structure. Right combination of equity and debt in the capital structure. There are only two sources, that is debt and shares. Debt and shares. Shares indicating equity only here. Shares indicating equity only. Firm pay the 100% of its earnings as a dividend, means 100% dividend concept will be applied in case of traditional theory, 100% dividend. Right? And here total finance remains constant. Total finance remains constant, means capital we are not going to increase or decrease, that is going to be constant. Internally we will make a changes in proportion of a capital, but total capital remains same. Business risk is constant in nature, so there is no change in the business risk also. Investor will behave rationally. Itna rational hai to where is the tax by? So investor behave rationally. They'll assume that every investor will think rationally, because rational investor is nothing but, rational investor is an investor who is having full knowledge about the company and the entire market, how the prices are getting fluctuated, what cost is going outside, and everything he'll get to know, and he will make his own analysis and make a judgment about the investment. That is how they are thinking. They behave rationally. Next, the firm has a perpetual life. The firm has a perpetual life. Perpetual life means firm is a long lasting. It will be a going concern. So these are the assumptions of traditional theory. Next, irrelevant approach number 1, net operating income. According to this approach, change in a capital structure will not change the value of the firm and market price of the shares. Number 1 assumption, the overall cost of capital, that is KO, is going to be constant. KO is going to be constant in nature. KO, overall cost of capital, KO is constant. There are no corporate taxes, obvious assumption. And the market capitalization of value of the firm as a whole. Market capitalize the value of the firm as a whole, because market capitalization, the value of the firm as a whole means due to change in this capital structure, the market price of the company is not going to change, and even if any change which is happening in the market value, that will not happen due to this. That maybe other factors are involved over here, right? Next, the final one is that Modi-Gilani-Miller approach is an average cost of capital that does not change with a change in the debt weighted equity. So whether you increase the debt and equity proportion, increasing or decreasing, then obviously that will not bring a change in value of the firm, because this is an irrelevant approach. So there are perfect capital market. This is assumption which is given in the exam, recent exam only, 2021. There are no retained earnings, means same assumption of the traditional 100% dividend. 100% dividend. So the investors are rational, same assumption of the traditional. And dividend payout ratio is 100%. Business consists of the same level of the business risk. Same level of the business risk, obviously. Same level of the business. Almost traditional as well as Modi-Gilani both are having the same assumptions, but this is an irrelevant and this is an relevant approach. So there are two types are there in the Modi-Gilani-Miller. is of two types. proposition number 1, number 2. Number 1 is an with tax. Number 2 is an without tax. Sorry, this is without tax. This is with tax. Right? But in the number 2, not only tax, here risk of the market as well as risk is considered over here. They included CAPM analysis to make, which usually consider the risk. So by taking that risk into consideration, he rectified some of the Modi-Gilani-Miller in the second proposition. He rectified some of the demerits of the proposition number 1 changed in the proposition number 2. Now, these both are usually working on the one process called as an arbitrage process. Arbitrage process. So this arbitrage process is nothing but selling or buy at a cheaper market. And sell at a dearer market. Dearer in the sense high priced market. That is how it will work. Buy and sell. Somewhere the equilibrium point will be achieved by them. Continuously buying and selling, somewhere equilibrium point will be achieved where the prices of both the firms will become equal. Right? Next,
Buy at a low price, sell at a higher price. Next buy. Now your task. I will tell this total, all the correlation, regression, as well as the measures of dispersion and skewness is there, and everything I will tell. They are dependent on the origin and dependent on the scale or not, we have to decide. This everything, you will never ever get this type of chart in any platform or any material, that is I am sure. So this is most important, I am telling you, pakka 100% question will come from here. One another way question they will put it from here only. This is 100% question will come from this area. Anyone out of all, anyone they will pakka ask in the exam. That's how it is going to be. Mean. For the mean, which is a central tendency. Mean, median, mode. Three things are there. Mean, median, mode. First one. These are measures of central tendency. MCT. Right? So mean is a positional average. So mean is a mathematical average, whereas these two are positional averages. Positional averages and mathematical averages. Now look at mean, median, mode. Dependent of origin, but dependent of origin and dependent of scale. Means origin means what? Addition and subtraction, plus and minus. Scale means multiplication and division. When you do addition or a deletion, subtraction or a division, when you do all the four operation, the values of mean, median, mode are going to change. Right? They are going to change. If you do addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, you do out of the four operation any one, the result of the mean, median is going to change, because they are dependent of origin plus minus, dependent of the scale also, multiplication and the division. Got it? Point number one, this is most important. Now, likes are not matching again. Range as well as mean deviation, standard deviation. Range and mean deviation, standard deviation. Three things are there. In this, if you do for the values which are given in identification of the range and MD and SD, if you do addition and subtraction, the values are not going to change because they are independent of origin. But when you do multiplication and division, the values are going to change because they are dependent. If you do addition and subtraction of these values on range and mean deviation as well as standard deviation, the values of these three things are going to change if you do addition and subtraction. If you they are not going to change when you do addition and subtraction, but if you do multiplication and division, they are going to change. Change is going to be there. Change and there is no change. All right, there is no change. All right. Now please tell me, these are measures of central tendency, right? First three. Now what are these three? Measures of skewness. Measures of skewness. Sorry, why this skewness? This is, wait. Dispersion. Dispersion. Sorry. Measures of dispersion. Independent of, measures of dispersion are independent of origin, dependent of the scale. Next, one and only hero. It is like one and only hero, Bahubali. Out of the entire statistics, he is the one. In research also. Correlation coefficient. Correlation coefficient is independent of the origin, independent of the scale. That means the value of correlation coefficient is not going to change whether you do the multiplication, division, subtraction, addition. It is independent of the origin, independent of the scale. Both are independent. This is the only unique feature of the correlation. Unique feature it is. Right? Next one is that regression coefficient as well as covariance. These both are again same. Regression coefficient. Regression is independent of origin and scale. So independent of origin, that is plus and minus. But regression value is going to change if you do the multiplication and division. If you do the multiplication as well as division, then obviously the value of a regression coefficient is going to change for sure. But when you do the plus and minus, then the value of regression coefficient or covariance is not going to change. Value of regression coefficient is not going to change. And covariance is independent, dependent. Independent and dependent. Covariance is also like a same regression. The value of the covariance or regression is not going to change when you do the plus and minus, but it is going to impact by the division as well as multiplication. Right? Next by. I hope I am clear with this slide entire. Please respond. Take a screenshot of the clean one by. I am removing everything because this screenshot is mandatory and it is important for you. Very much simplified version. I will put plus, minus, division, multiplication. Now you can take it. Right? Chalo. Let us move further towards understanding some more. There are three important skewness is there. Three important authors has given three types of skewness. Carl Pearson, the formula got asked in the maths the following by. Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness, Bowley's coefficient of skewness, Kelly's coefficient of skewness. Seedha they asked about formula. Directly they given formula and asked to match with a respective author skewness. Now look at very carefully. One by one we'll go one. Here. Carl Pearson coefficient is also known as Pearson coefficient of skewness based upon the difference between mean and mode. So he given based on what? Difference between the mean and mode. Difference is divided by the standard deviation to give a relative measure. So Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness is a relative measure. Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness varies between the -3 to +3. How much by? -3 to +3 it will be there. The value of this Carl Pearson coefficient of skewness. But this is theoretically only. Theoretically it is between -2 to +3. Whereas in practical it exceeds a +1 to -1. Means in practical -1 to +1 only it usually there. This is theoretically we can say as per the theory. But practically -1 to +1. So this is difference between the mean and mode first divided by the standard deviation. That's what we are doing now. Mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. Or else you can also write in this way. 3 multiplied by minus difference of mean and median. Difference of mean and median divided by standard deviation. 3 into mean minus median divided by standard deviation is another formula of coefficient of skewness of the Pearson. right? Next, number 2, coefficient of Bowley's coefficient of skewness. Bowley's developed a measure of skewness which is based on the quartile values, whereas Kelly's is based on what? Percentile and decile values. Percentile and decile values. Look at percentile and decile values by the Kelly's, and based on the quartile values by the Bowley's, based on the mean and mode and standard deviation is called Pearson. These are the 3 important points. If you can remember, your answer will be easy, because identification of formula how will be there? Here the percentile and deciles are there. Here the median, the quartile means a Q3, Q1, Q2, Q3, and here mean and mode which is related to Carl Pearson. So when you remember the main focal funda or how the formula is coming, that will be easy to remember the formula and identify the formula. Yes, this will apply, correct Shalini, this will be applied when the mode is not given. If the mode is not given, you can go for this formula, right? Now, this measure of coefficient of Bowley's, which is skewness, useful in case of open-ended distribution, and this will be between the -1 to +1. -1 to +1. Next one is that this measure is based only the middle 50% of the data and ignores the remaining 50%. Means here it concentration is Q1, Q2 till this only. It will never consider Q3 and Q4 because total 4 quarters will be there, 25, 25, 25, 25. Like that 4 will be there. The values obtained by Bowley's and Pearson methods neither comparable nor they bear any relationship. By this is different method, this is different method, this is different method. Don't compare this and this because here the variables are quartiles, here the variables are mean and mode and standard deviation. Next is that here Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 median, total is only 50% considered. That is what the point number 3. Q3 plus Q1, 2 quarters you added and you removed a median from there, 2 median. Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 median divided by Q3 minus Q1. Q3 minus Q1, here only 50% will come because Q3 minus Q1 means between only 50%. And second formula will be Q3 minus Q2 minus Q2 minus Q1. That is simply, can I say, Q3 minus Q2 and minus Q2 plus Q1, right? Plus Q1. So this is simply Q3 minus Q1. No, wait. Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 Q2, right? This is simply the derivation of this formula by Q3 minus Q2, yes, minus Q2 minus Q1, right? So this will become minus Q2, minus into minus plus Q1 will be there. So out of this, if you do Q3 plus Q1 and minus 2 Q2, Q2 is nothing but a median. This is how we got the formula also. That is how we got the formula also. We got the formula in the same way, Q3 plus Q1 minus 2 median, how we got? In the same way. From the second only we got the first formula. Q2 is a median. Kindly increase your resolution. Problem is not from my end. You have to increase your video resolution. Next, Kelly developed the another measure of the skewness which is based on the percentile and decile. The formula will be percentile means a P, 100, hundreds. Decile means tens. Decile means tens. So P90 plus P10, total altogether P100. Percentile is equal to 100 equal parts. And decile means 10 equal parts, 10. P90 plus P10 minus 2 median. Again here also 50% only is considered. You carefully, P90 plus P10 means 100 minus 2 median means 50% removed, only 50% data considered, and P90 minus P10 is the below one, P90 minus P10. If you want to represent the same thing in a deciles form, D9 plus D1 minus 2 median divided by D9 minus 1, because these deciles are equal to 10 equal parts only and percentiles are equal to 100 equal parts. Am I clear or not? right? So please take screenshot of this also. Right. Next, probable error. This is actually 2021 they asked, 2020 also they asked. 2 years continuously the question was there, even before the 2019 also questions were there. Probable error, they will not ask you to do anything. Simply they will give the formula. They will ask you to identify which of the formula is correct. That is a 2021 question. Second 2020 question was asking us to calculate the standard, the n value, that is size. The size they asked us to calculate in the 2020 exam. In 2021 formula question directly, see the. So probable error, 3 types of calculation. The formulas are 3 types. 0.6745. 0.6745 is a standard value which will be there. This is a calculated based on the logic only. That much in depth is not required for us. 0.6745 into standard error. 0.6745 into standard error. And this standard error formula is what? What is the formula for standard error? Standard error is equal to 1 minus r square divided by under root n. This is what the formula for standard error. So 0.6745 into 1 minus r square divided by n. And they given standard, they given, in the exam, they given standard error value, not standard error. I think R value they given and they given probable error also. Both they given and they asked us to identify the n, which is a size, right? So now 0.6745 into 1 minus r square divided by under root n, which is a standard error formula. So again this is a standard error formula. When you multiply by 2 by 3, when you multiply with a 2 by 3, what is 2 by 3 value? 2 by 3 value is equal to again 0.6745 only will come. Approximately 0.66 something will come. So that is approximately is near to this value only. In place of the 0.6745 we are placing the 2 by 3 value. Bus. That is probable error. So this probable error will show the reliability and dependability of the coefficient of correlation, whether we can able to rely upon the result given by the correlation or not. If we are able to relay, then the probable error we need to calculate. By calculating this probable error means how much percentage the error can happen. How much the percentage the error can happen, that we'll get to know by calculating this one. Then by having the error in our hand, we can say whether we can able to rely upon it or depend upon the result of correlation or not. And important probable error, the importance is that it tells a limit which R should fall, which is a correlation coefficient. And if R is less than the probable error, no evidence of correlation. If R is less than if the correlation coefficient is less than the probable error, no evidence of correlation. There is no correlation actually. And here R is more than 6 times of the probable error. If R is more than 6 times of the probable error, then if your correlation is more than the 6 times of your error, probable error, then only this correlation is evidental, this correlation is reliable, this correlation is having a dependence. This correlation is having a dependence, otherwise no. And R should be 6 times to be significant. Why it is 6 times? Because error is a 1 and your correlation if it is 6, then that is reliable, because error is only small portion now. If error itself is more than your correlation, where is the question of this correlation? There is no relationship at all. There is no relationship at all. Remember this one, this point has been asked in the PYQ. Next, statistics, important topics done. For this session, Next one is that I am entering into management. I am entering into management. Let us see. So there are three types of theories of management theories. Three types of management theories are there. Classical theories, neoclassical theories, as well as the modern management theories. First, let me tell you the what classical theories main funda, neoclassical theories main thing. Olden days, when the classical theories period 1880 and 1930, those were the period or those were the times where labors were treated as an missions. There is no importance given to the feelings and the conditions of the labor. Only work, work, work. Productivity, productivity, productivity. This is the only rule used to be there in the classical theories. They never consider the human factor into consideration in the classical theories. That is the most important one. Right? Labor are treated as an missions in case of classical theories. Whereas in the neoclassical theories, human factor got considered. Human emotions, human factors, their feelings, their conditions, and what they want actually, what type of facilities they require, everything they want, that is addressed in the neoclassical. Whereas modern management, according to this modern management theories are, it's over and above the human factor consideration, means providing a proper facilities, bonus and incentive, everything comes under modern, which is a recent developments, right? Now the types of classical theories. Bureaucracy theory, the theory of bureaucratic given by the Max Weber. Scientific management theory given by F.W. Taylor. Administrative theory given by Henry Fayol. Right? Bureaucracy theory by Max Weber. Scientific management theory F.W. Taylor. Administrative theory given by Henry Fayol. 14 principles. By who is called as a father of administrative management? That is Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol. Now you just look at the theory and the author matching questions are there in the previous years. Even you can expect in the upcoming exam also same type of question. Neoclassical theory, most important human relation theory, Elton, Mayo and Roethlisberger. Elton, Mayo and Roethlisberger. Behavioral theories are given by Abraham Maslow and Douglas McGregor. Behavioral theories are Abraham Maslow and Douglas McGregor. These are actually a motivational theories. These are also comes under the not only management, this is a motivational theories also, Douglas McGregor and Abraham Maslow. Whereas modern management theories are given system approach theory, Karch and Kahn. System approach theory, Karch and Kahn. Socio-technical approach, quantitative approach, contingency approach. Quantitative approach and contingency approach. Kolmogorov-Simrov test, that is in the parametric, non-parametric. In the non-parametric it will come usually, non-parametric. I will take up that in the next session because that is appeared in the 2021 exam. Not only that one, even Crucial Values, Mann-Whitney test in depth also they asked. So both we can take it up under one session. I will take it up. Next. So let us look into the most important aspect of this one, because Henry Fayol 14 principles are important. What is the mnemonic to remember? Mnemonic to remember. Russia code used. Russia code used. What is this? R. R stands for Russia. R U S S I A. CODE code. used. Now tell one by one. One by one you have to tell. I also have to recall this one. R. This is responsibility. Correct? Or remuneration. Remuneration first, because R is not available, another R. Remuneration and unity of command. This is yes is stable. Subordination, I believe. And yes, another S. Scalar chain, correct. Initiative. Authority and responsibility. Next, C. Centralization, decentralization, correct. And O, order. D, discipline. Next, E. E, another E. Another E. Now, esprit de corps will make it later. Equity. Right? Next, U. Unity of direction. Stability is there. Stability is there, yes. I think stability is there, right? Stability of tenure. Stability is there. Stability of tenure or something. Stability. E. Esprit de corps. Teamwork. This is asked in 2020. Esprit de corps, which is teamwork. D is an direction. Not direction. Unity of direction is already completed, no? Division, I think. Division. Division of work. This is what total Russia code used. So there is a 2021 question. First point of discussion is by liquidator statements. This topic is from the accounting unit number 2. Hello Manu Prasad. So liquidator, liquidation account is there na, unit number 2. Unit number 2 accounting is there. So in the accounting, liquidation accounting is one of the part. Liquidation accounting. So in that there are sequence based question got asked. which is when we are making a payment in the event of winding up. First, what I mean by liquidation, then later I will come to this provision. The liquidation meaning is that winding up of the company, where company is going to ceases to exist. Company life is going to come to an end. That is what a liquidation. So in the liquidation, the liquidator statement we need to prepare. There will be a one person appointed when the liquidation is announced by the company or by the court also. The appointment of the liquidator will be there. Liquidator is a person who will be taking care about entire procedures of the liquidation until unless complete procedures are completed, company is not deemed to be closed. So the procedure are nothing but selling of the assets of the company and getting the amount from there and making a payment to the creditors of the company. This is what the main duty of the liquidator which is being appointed. So in this case, what the liquidator has to do? He has to prepare the liquidator's account. Then in that account he need to sell the asset. After selling asset, he need to get the amount. Once he get the amount, he need to pay it to the creditors in a sequential order, on a priority sequential order as per the law only he need to pay. How he is going to pay? Well, let us see. How he is going to pay as per the provisions we need to understand. In case of compulsory winding up, means which is as per the court order, company liquidator should keep as per the proper books. It may be prescribed. He should cause entries or minutes to be made in the proceedings of the meeting as matters which may be discussed. So any creditor or contributory may subject to the control of the tribunal only. The tribunals will be there. So via tribunals only this will be discussed. And actually section 59 of the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, IBC 2016 section 59 will be in operation whenever the winding up is happening like this. So here while preparing a liquidator statement, we must take receipts are shown in the following order. Receipt. When the inflow is coming now, liquidator has to consider the receipts in this manner. First, amount realized from the assets are included in the prescribed order, in the process of proper order only. In case of assets specifically placed in favor of creditors, suppose there is a loan which is there, and that loan, the proper asset is there, asset number A on the balance sheet, asset number A is pledged with this particular loan. That means the pledged in favor of the creditors, only the particular A asset after selling you will get amount. Now that amount that you got it will be utilized to pay only this creditors on whom you got a pledge. Right, on whom you got a pledge. That's what in placed in favor of a creditors, only the surplus from that particular asset. In case of partly paid up shares, equity shareholders should be called up to pay necessary amount. If the partly paid up shares are there, now first we need to call the remaining payment. We need to invite for the full payment. Otherwise, those partly paid up shareholders not eligible for the repayment. Once a liquidation is announced, in order to get the repayment, they need to pay. So amount not exceeding amount of uncalled capital. If creditor claim the preference shareholder can't be satisfied with the available amount, then preference shareholders would be called upon to contribute the remaining amount. Next, amount received from the calls to the contributories made at the time of winding up are shown on the receipt side only. Amount received from the call. Once you called up for the remaining calls now, which is pending calls, if you are receiving amount, we need to credit that amount to a receipt side of the liquidator's account. And receipt as per the trading account are included in the receipt side. That is a gross profit of the sales which is coming now. That is also to be on receipt side. Payment made to the redemption of a securities and cost of execution and payment per trading account are deducted from the total receipt. Means this is simply deducted from the total receipt or mention it as a payment side. How much we are redeeming means a repayment of the securities. Repayment of the securities. Having understood this one, now most important part is this one. Once you realize the amount, once you got the amount credit into the liquidator's account, now you are having an amount after selling all the assets. How you are going to pay the liabilities? First, legal charges is our number one priority. Legal charges. Why? To have this all proceedings of the liquidation, you must have incurred legal charges. First you need to pay, that is a statutory obligation you must pay. After that, liquidators expenses, usually the liquidators remuneration we need to pay. Liquidators remuneration we need to pay. Remuneration means whatever the charges taken by the liquidator, that is the second order of the payment. Third order, debenture holders including the interest up to the date of winding up if the company is insolvent and to the date of payment is solvent. So debenture holders is a third category. For the debenture holder, we need to pay with the interest also. Till the date of winding up, we need to pay with the interest if the company is solvent position. Fourth priority, this is a priority number 3. Next, priority number 4 in the order of making payment. Preferential creditors. Preferential, in actual practice, preferential creditors are paid before the debenture holders having floating charge. So actually this preferential creditors are paid after the liquidator, later debenture holders will come. But if preferential creditors are having a floating charge, means the charges which is changing, dynamic. Floating charge means the interest, the dividend percentage on the preferential creditors will be there now. Are the creditors who are treated as a priority. For them, if the interest rate or the dividend rate is getting changed now, for those creditors we need to pay first. If the fixed rate of charge is there, then you can pay after the debentures. If it is floating, then before the debentures only we need to pay. After paying to the preference shareholders, preference creditors, then unsecured creditors is in the next order. Unsecured creditors in the next order, right? Unsecured creditors in the next order. After that, now the preferential shareholders. This is about a preferential creditors, means important creditors. After that, unsecured creditors. Now the preferential shareholders who are expecting a dividend, which is cumulative dividend or non-cumulative dividend. Cumulative dividend means the dividend which is accrued or generated till that winding up time. And final payment is made to the equity shareholder. Final payment is made to the equity shareholder. That's how the order of payment in case of liquidation. Clear? Legal charges, liquidation expenses are a remuneration of the liquidator, and next one is that preferential creditors having a floating charge. After that, debenture holders. After that, preferential creditors who are not having a floating charge. After that, unsecured creditors. After that, preferential shareholders. After that, equity shareholders. This is how the order. Security creditors comes under the point number 3. By security creditors, secured creditors are actually on priority. Every time, you know, if the creditor is secured, immediate first payment to the secured people only. That is what secured people are. Preferential creditors having floating charge. Preferential creditors having floating charge are called as in secured creditors. These bracket persons are nothing but secured creditors only. This is a valid doubt. Super. Clear? Next. Topic number 1 completed. Now the topic number 2. Ready? Merger, acquisition, amalgamation, difference. Single line difference, can anyone please tell me? Single line difference. Somebody please. Ho gaya bhai? With one topic only, energy completed. Merger, acquisition, amalgamation. Merger. Two entities A plus B equal to A or else B. New entity is getting formed. So here at least two entities are involved. One will be ceases to exist. So A plus B will become either A will acquire the B, or A plus B will become it equal to B also. It could be anything. And here acquisition is, absorption is, one is taking over the other. Acquisition is at least two entities are involved. One takes over the assets and shares of the other and influences the voting rights also here. Influences the voting rights also. All companies might exist together. All companies might exist together, but voting rights will get transferred from one to other. Amalgamation is A plus B equal to AB or another C company also. New company will get formed. New company will get formed. Right? Here impact of share. Shares of the absorbing company are given to the shareholders of absorbed company, which is a new company. Or who is acquired the one. Not new, in this there is no new company will be formed. Absorbed company is nothing but the company which is taken over the previous company. And here in the acquisition, buyer companies purchase more than the percentage of target company. Acquisition is a forceful activity. This absorption is a voluntary action. Whereas this acquisition is a somehow forceful. Hustle takeover will be there, na, that type. Next is that share of new entity given to the share of existing companies. So share will be given in the new company to the existing companies. And here size of the companies. Two companies are comparable size here. The merging of our comparable size. Here big fish will eat the small fish. Big fish will eat the small fish. Big fish will eat the small fish. And the participating companies are comparable size, have similar terms of association. Similar terms of association. And here resultant entities are only one company exists. Absorbing companies absorb absorbed companies and continue to exist. So the absorbed companies will be ceased, and whereas absorbing companies will be continued, which are absorbing the other company will be continued. Here acquired company ceases to exist and become part of the acquiring company. Who is big fish will be existed, small fish will be get lost. And here new entity will exist, both companies will be lost. Absorbing companies initiate the deal. Here drivers for the association. Who will initiate? Absorbing company who wish to take over. Who wish to take over, those people will be initiating. And here an acquiring company initiate the deal or with or without the consent of acquired company. Here hustle takeover. Forceful action here, right? Next, initiated by the both parties, their amalgamation. And if you look at assets and liabilities are absorbed by the companies, absorbed companies are absorbed by the absorbing company. Absorbing means who are going to continue. And one firm acquire the assets and liabilities of other company. Assets and liabilities will be transferred to new company. But this is the key difference between the three. Now, type of merger, is it clearly visible? First do let me know, because here somehow blur looking. Awadh vibes. Yes, okay. So type of mergers, horizontal merger, vertical merger, first two. Let us talk the right side later. First one is that horizontal merger. What is merger? Merger is in coming together. First, process of two firms operating in the same industry, combining together to get a benefit of economies of scale. Economies of scale benefit is nothing but the productivity benefit. The productivity benefit, which is quantity increasing. The productivity benefit, economies of scale means, and reduce the competition, achieve the monopoly status and control the entire market. So here the best example is that both the companies who are in the same nature or same industries, they will come together and they'll do that one. That is what a horizontal merger. They'll merge together same nature of companies like Tata, like Sudhakar Pipes as well as Sudhakar Pipes and Ashirwad Pipes. Both are pipes only, the sanitary industries only. Both will come together and their productivity will be expanded. They'll become a monopoly in the entire market. That's how it will go. Horizontal. Vertical merger is merging with a supplier or the distributor. Vertically, if I am the company, I will go and merge with my supplier, or else I will go and merge with my distributor. That's how vertically merging. So acquisition by an entity to another entity, which procedures of raw materials are used, and acquisition of a firm by another company for which would be help to get a customer, that is a distributor. Either it could be with a supplier or it could be with a distributor also. It could be with a distributor also. Either way it can happen. That comes under here. Right. So here if I can take the example here, a car manufacturer acquires a steel company. FMCG company acquires an advertising company. Why? Because FMCG product requires advertising, mass advertising is required. Car manufacturer requires a spare parts. So car manufacturer will make a deal or a merging with a who will sell the spare parts or who will manufacture the spare parts. So like that, vertical merger. Next, the third type of merger is that conglomerate merger. Conglomerate merger. What is conglomerate? Two unrelated industry companies are coming together called as an unrelated. It is like a marriage only. Two unknown persons are coming together to lead their life for a long time called as an conglomerate. Conglomerate means both are unrelated in their life aspects, but both are coming together for the entire life. That is a marriage. In the same way, conglomerate also combination of two firms which are operating in the industries unrelated to each other to achieve a big size is called as a conglomerate. Right? Yes, arranged marriage type. Steel manufacturer acquiring a software company. Right? Next, a concentric merger. Next, a concentric merger. What do you mean by concentric merger? Name itself is indicating concentric. Concentric. Combination of two or more firms which are related to each other in terms of their customer groups, in terms of their functioning, in terms of their operations wise, they are similar in nature. They are similar in nature of operation wise. Combination of computer manufacturer and UPS manufacturer. So in the computer manufacturer, some elements used is same. In the UPS manufacturer also some elements used is same. That is what a concentric merger. Like here actually DVD as well as the DVD players and DVD cassette. Correct na? DVD players and a computer and a keyboard companies. Computer and a camera companies, and a laptop as well as the hard disk, the external hard disk, that are memory type of companies. It's like one company. If I am selling a DVD player means I also should, if I'm buying a DVD player means I also should buy DVD disc, DVD or CD I need to buy. So this CD making company and DVD player manufacturer, both are having the same customer, that is me only. So which is called as a concentric merger. That type of company they will merge together is comes. Bike and helmet, related goods. Related goods having a same customer, it is like a related goods. Related goods will have a related customer obviously. Bike and helmet, best example. Next, a forward merger, reverse merger. What is forward merger? The target merges into buyer. Like ICICI Bank acquired the Bank of Madura, which is target. Forward merger and backward merger. Forward merger and backward merger. Actually, forward merger is nothing but merging. Vertical merger is of two types by. This vertical merger is there now. Vertical merger is two types. One is forward, second one is backward. The forward is nothing but with distributors or wholesalers. Right here, backward is nothing but with suppliers. With suppliers. Forward, backward is related to manufacturing and supplier, correct. That's what, two types. Next is that here targets by ICICI Bank acquired the Bank of Madura, which is a target, and reverse merger by, what is reverse merger? What is reverse merger? The buyer merge into the target and the shareholders of the buyer gets into stock, get a stock in the target. ICICI merged with the ICICI Bank in 2002. That is a reverse merger, ulta. Actually, ICICI Bank is a later formatted one. ICICI Bank formed in the 1995. But ICICI as a corporation of industrial credit is there since that 1955. So 1955 which got formed, they came and merged with a recently formed entity which is ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank. It is like, you know, one public entity is getting merged up with a private entity. One public entity is merging with a private entity. Or else I would say one holding company merging with a one subsidiary company. One holding company merging with a subsidiary company. That's what a reverse merger, ulta. Actually, big fish has to eat the small fish. But here small fish eat the big fish. That is what a reverse merger, ulta. Yes, now it is bank only. Next, subsidiary merger. What is this? The buyer sets up an acquisition subsidiary which merges into the target, and it is a combination of two companies into a single larger company. So combination of multiple subsidiaries will become a one bigger company or a larger company. That is what a subsidiaries merger. But these are the types of merger. Next, takeovers. Types of takeovers. Types of takeovers. Here, friendly takeover, hustle takeover, bailout takeover, cross-border takeover, reverse takeover. Look at this takeover which is friendly. Both the side, friendly takeover means it's like a accepted love. You proposed, the girl proposed to a boy and boy proposed to a girl, everything went off smoothly, both like each other. That's what friendly takeover. Hustle takeover means girl proposed to a boy but boy didn't accept it, still girl is forcing the boy to accept it. That is what hustle takeover. With a force, take over silently without the consent of the other party. Without the consent of other party, this is in the form of acquisition. This is in the form of acquisition, right? Bailout takeover is a takeover deals with a financially weak company. Acquisition of financially weak company by a profit earning company is called as an bailout the farmer. Means financially weak entity will be there. So financially weak entity, this is taking an opportunity, simply taking opportunity. A big companies or else other company who is a profit making company just trying to acquire the other company because their financial position is weak. Their financial position is weak. That comes under the bailout takeover. Their financial position is very weak. That is why they are trying to acquire that company. Cross-border takeover. Cross-border, name itself is indicating competitiveness among the domestic companies forces many business to go global. So competitive among the domestic companies forces many companies to go global. That is a cross-border takeover. Means one company, A company is performing very competitively within India. So this competitively within India, it is very strong. This will be taken over by some other foreign entity because they wanted to expand their business not only in India, in other country also they wanted to expand. So that will be a cross-border takeover. And reverse takeover will be, generally we see a big companies taking over the small companies. But when it happens ulta, that is here. Reverse merger is there now. Reverse merger is here is reverse takeover. When small company takes over the big companies, it is called as a reverse merger or reverse takeover. Reverse merger or reverse takeover, both. Right? So that's about a type. Now dividend theories, total 3 important theories of dividend is there. In 2 charts only we are going to cover. These are the dividend theory assumptions and the proposition, as well as their respective formulas and the most important relationship I am going to tell you. Ready for it? Very important, damn sure question will come. 100% pakka question. Chalo. Walter model, Gordon model, approach. By like a capital structure theories, we have a dividend theories also. Dividend policy theories are there. So by declaring a dividend, if the value of the firm is going to change, based on the dividend declaration, those are called as an relevant theories of the dividend. If the value of the firm is going to be constant or it is not changing, even though whether dividend declared or not declared, that is irrelevant approach of a dividend. So 2 classification is there. In this Walter as well as Gordon, both are relevant approaches, which are because of the dividend value of the firm is going to change. Whereas is an always irrelevant fellow. He is always irrelevant fellow because of the change in the, or because of the dividend declaration, that is not going to change. Market value or value of the firm is not going to change. That is irrelevant approach. According to Walter model, the market value of the shares are depend upon the dividend per share. Means if the dividend per share or dividend is declared, that is directly going to impact on the value of the firm. That is what these 2 theories. And the relationship between the internal rate of return IRR and the cost of equity or the market capitalization rate is existed over here. IRR and the cost of equity, cost of capital, but in all the cases cost of capital is treated as an cost of equity. Why? Because here there is no other capital which is existed, only equity capital which is existed. That is why total cost of capital is equal to this one. Next, Walter bro relevant. Now here assumption of the Walter is saying financing through retained earnings only. So he is not going to procure any new capital from the other sources. Whatever the retained earnings that is existed with a company will be reinvested in the company. No new procurement of the capital, only retained earnings R. Right? Rate of return which is R and the cost of capital which is KE, both are going to be constant. Rate of return as well as cost of capital both are constant. and there will be a existence of perfect capital market. Perfect capital market means where the market which is having a rational buyer, the buyer knows about the entire market. Buyer is having all knowledge, all the buyers are having a proper knowledge about the market mechanism. That is what we call it as a perfect capital market. Next, no tax or a tax discrimination. There is no tax or tax discrimination is also not there. Means there are no taxes exist in the world. That is what the assumption. And there are no transaction and flotation costs are involved in making all this transaction. Pukat everything they will do. Means the market will perform for everything for free only. Market is the firm is having a perpetual life. Firm is a going concern. It's a going concern. Right? No external financing, obviously. So these are the main assumption of the Walter model. Now let us look into the Gordon also. According to the Gordon, IRR, internal rate of return, is greater than the cost of capital. Here what? Depend upon the internal rate of return and cost of capital is the relationship is existed between the both. Here internal, the R is more than the internal rate of return is more than the cost of equity, means return is more than the cost, and the price per share increases and the dividend payout ratio decreases. So DPS and MPS is having a ulta relationship. This is ulta relationship is existed between the DPS and MPS. Here firm is all equity firm only. That is what the main assumption of all theories also. IRR will remain constant, but it is constant even though it is more than the cost of capital. Cost of equity is also remain constant. These both are going to be constant, but it is going to be R is more than the KE. That is what the Gordon model. And retention ratio, that is B, once decided upon, once a retention ratio is fixed like a 60% fixed. So once it is fixed as 60%, it will be 60% only, it won't change. Growth rate is also constant. G equal to growth is equal to retention rate ratio into internal rate of return. That will be the growth ratio. So that is also once decided it is constant, it is not going to change. Financing through retained earnings only. Here also financing through retained earnings only. Here also financing through retained earnings only. So KE is more than the growth. KE is more than the growth. And here R is more than KE and KE is more than the growth. That's how it is going to be there. Right? Simply they are saying everything need to be constant. Then only this theory will work. Bakwas hai total. Next, MM approach. MM approach. According to the MM, these assumptions are itself is hectic. Now he will come and say he is on the another world, Elon Musk. MM approach. According to the MM hypothesis, market value of equity shares of a firm of its firm depend on its earning power, not on the dividend. Depend on the earning power, not on the influence of the manner which it is earning the split between the dividend and retained earnings. So it is purely on the earning power. Dividend is not a parameter to decide the value of the firm over here. As per him, perfect capital market are existed, no taxes, fixed investment policy, no flotation cost, no transaction cost, risk is uncertainty existed. This is the only thing which he told correct. Sorry, this is also wrong. Sorry. Risk of uncertainty does not exist, he said. I thought it is exist. Does not exist. Risk itself is uncertainty. Risk meaning itself, the definition of the risk itself will start with uncertainty. Risk is nothing but risk is defined as an facing the uncertainty. So he himself is saying risk itself is not there. No risk is there. No risk is there. Right? So these are the assumptions as per the three authors. Now look at the formulas. Please write down the formulas very clearly. Theoretical market value of the equity shares as per the Walter formula, dividend plus EPS minus DPS multiplied by R, internal rate of return, divided by cost of capital which is KE, whole divided by KE. So dividend plus this is dividend portion, and this is retained earnings portion. EPS minus D means retained earnings, multiplied with a rate, divided by the cost, multiplied with a rate. So dividend plus retained earnings is the total value which is there, and that is multiplied with a rate and divided by the cost. So which will give you the value of the share, which is a theoretical market value. And here with growth, without growth, Gordon's application, here Gordon approach, with growth D1 which is a dividend, D0 plus growth equal to D1. So with growth is nothing but D1 divided by KE minus growth will come. Cost of equity minus growth will be deducted. If it is without growth, D1 divided by KE only. Growth will not be deducted because that is without growth. No need to deduct the growth. And here, if the MM approach is getting followed, when the dividend is not paid, step number 1, step number 1 will be different for the, when the dividend is not paid, we need to calculate the expected market price P1 is equal to current market price plus cost of equity, that is 1 plus KE. Current market price P0 plus into 1 plus KE, which is cost of capital, need to be multiplied or added. When it is dividend paid, when the dividend paid, here same PO 1 plus KE 1 plus KE, but minus expected dividend you need to remove because you are calculating expected market price. Upon this, if the variables are not available, then current market price is equal to expected market price plus expected dividend divided by 1 plus cost of equity or cost of capital. Cost of capital. So change in number of shares. How many number of shares are going to be changed because of the new fund that you are going to issue? That is I minus E minus D. What is I? Investment. Investment minus earnings minus dividend divided by investment only, right? Investment minus earnings minus dividend divided by P1, which is the expected price. Market value of the next year, the value that you calculate, this is change in number of shares by how many new shares that you need to issue because of the new investment that you are procuring or inviting from the public. So how many number of shares that is going to change. And market value of the next year, present market value of the next year is equal to number of changes, number of shares changes, and the P1 that you calculated over here, both 2 and 3 will get multiplied, will give you market value of the next year. Bus. This much only. Right? Now people will go. People will go. I am telling Pakka, you remember my words. You can look at this one, this one, this one. Any one of the formula based question, every year they are asking. Every year they are asking. You don't have a patience to listen the formulas. But if the easy question is coming, we have to make it. By every easy question will be done by every person. When these type of question, if you are dealing in the exam, obviously you can make it JRF. Because this is not normally done by all. This is not normally done by everyone. This is done who has done a practice only. Who has done the practice, those people only can able to solve this question, otherwise not possible. Regular people who will come and say 1 month 1 month ka people, they will not know the problems. So here there are 3 types of company: growth company, constant company, declining company. Means having higher growth, loss making, and constant growth companies. So conditions: in case of growth company, R is more than the KE. That is Gordon model approach actually. This is Gordon approach. As per the Gordon, R is more than the KE. So in case of growth companies, the Gordon will be applicable. Correlation between the size of a dividend and market price is negative. Because return is more than the cost, dividend and market price will be negative here. Optimum dividend payout ratio will be 0. In case of growth firm, where the returns are more than the cost, and there will be an inverse relationship between the dividend as well as the market price of the company. In such a cases, have the entire earnings with you only, do not declare anything as a dividend. Right? And if it is a constant where both are equal, where no correlation between the dividend and the market price, every payout is optimum. Every payout ratio is optimum. Whether it is a dividend payout ratio or retention ratio, both must be optimum. Means on an average, half that type of situation. Loss making company where returns are less than cost. This is a positive correlation. Dividend and market price will be having a positive correlation. If you declare the 100% dividend, whatever the earnings that you are getting, then that declining form will come, the declining form will be growing very early. That comes under here, right? So that is a part of this entire discussion of the dividend. Is it clear? Now let us start. Another important item. Every topic which I am bringing, damn sure there will be a question from each of the slide in any one exam. You can just check it out. That's how I am bringing the topic in the best of all 10 units. So let us start with this. There are international regional agreements are thereby. So as per the international regional agreement, if you look at, go this side. European Union, number 1, European Union EU. The purpose of European Union is to promote the peace and its values and the well-being of its citizens. How many member countries are existed? 28. Wrong. How wrong? Is it 28 or 27? Please tell. Is it 28 or 27? Acha, only today's session is 1000% important. 28 or 27? Please tell. 28 or 27? $29. ओहो, ये किधर से आ गया भाई? What is that? What is that extra one? Please बताओ. Even I don't know about it. Sorry. Actually here, it's 27. It's 27 only. Whether I just checked for the 29. Seriously, I thought it is true. So 27 only, because one I wanted to remove. Usually we call it as EU plus 27. EU treated as 1 na, so EU plus 27 will become 28, but usually when they are asking the number of member countries, not 27 only, you need to mark it out unless until they are specifically asking. Headquartered at Brussels and Belgium, but recently Ukraine is there now. Ukraine submitted application to be included under the European Union, but that application is kept in pending due to the war, due to the Ukrainian and Russia war, due to the Ukrainian-Russian war. So this is in the 1957, the origin of the European Union is there. After that, Asian is an association of Southeast Asian nation, and here to accelerate the economic and social progress and cultural development. Here how many countries? Total 10 countries with our Asian countries only will be there. Jakarta, Indonesia is an location of the headquarter. 1967 formation. 1967 formation. SAARC is an South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation headquartered at Kathmandu, Nepal. South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation headquarter. Promote the welfare of people. South Asia, and improve their quality of life. Which is MBBS Spain. What is this? 8 member countries are there. MBBS Spain, that is, which is M Maldives, B Bhutan, B Bangladesh, S which is Sri Lanka, and P which is Pakistan, A Afghanistan, I which is India, N Nepal. Total 8 countries plus 9 observer countries are there. Australia, China, and the European Union, Iran, Japan, Mauritius, as well as Myanmar, South Korea, United States. It got established in 1985. By year is correct, 27 countries. You already told 29. That is wrong. Please don't confuse me. Absolutely, this year is correct. 1957, the journey of the European Union started. After that, European Economic Community and European Community, later the Treaty of Lisbon, Treaty of Rome, all this took place. Finally, it brought back to the original name, that is European Union only. PYQ is there. Now here, which is NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. That is NAFTA. To eliminate all tariff and non-tariff barrier of the trade investment between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. So this NAFTA, now it is replaced by what? USMCA agreement. Now USMCA is there. United States, Mexico, Canada trio agreement is there. So here US, Mexico, and Canada. Now NAFTA replaced by USMCA. 1994 it got originally NAFTA, but USMCA January 2020 it is. January 2020, right? Next is that observer country shortcut is not there by. If you want to create any, you can create it. And BRICS. What is BRICS countries? To promote the peace, security, and development and cooperation, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Headquarters Shanghai, China, which is in 2006, this got initiated. Right? Next. Last and final part. IMF, World Bank and WTO. So here International Monetary Fund 27th December 1945 established Washington DC, but the started there. Washington DC is a headquarter. These IMF and World Bank are the twins. These two are the twins. Bretton Woods Conference twins. Bretton Woods Conference twins. So here 27 December 1945, Washington DC, and here July 1944, but started operation 1st March 1947, started operation June 1946, and also known as Bretton Woods twins. This is also known as Bretton Woods twins. Member countries are 190 as of now, here 189 as of now. So initially the organization is at that time 1944, we call it as an IBRD, and IDA combinedly was there. Now IBRD and IBRD 189 countries, 173 International Development Association, that is IDA, whereas IBRD full form is that International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is 189. Here recently Andorra is a country which is joined in 2020. I think 191 country also there na, which is 191st country. Is there any 191st country which is joined recently? Let's check the list also, latest one. IMF latest member. Bas bhai, that's it. Andorra only. With that only it became 189 plus 1, which is 190. Right? And here main motto is that working for the world free poverty. World free poverty working for. And here major functions are lending facility, IMF surveillance, and capacity development. Lending facility, IMF surveillance, and capacity development. Three are the major function, most important by this is. Three are the major functions, which is IMF lending facility, mainly giving loans to the least developed countries or the poor countries to uplift their liquidity. And a special drawing rights will be there. Special drawing right is a basket of 190 currencies. In that basket of 190 currencies, top 5 currencies will be picked up. The top 5 currency basket is called as a special drawing right, which is initiated in the 1969. And highest is that US dollar, after that euro, after that Chinese yuan and Japanese yen and pound sterling is in sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 5 currencies. And here World Bank group consists of International Bank for Reconstruction and Development and International Financial Corporation. After that, International Development Association and International Council for Settlement of Investment Dispute ICSID and Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. These are the 5 group of association in the World Bank. And next major objective is to end the extreme poverty and to promote the shared prosperity. To end the extreme poverty, right? In 2015 this Chinese yen got added. 2015, which is a recently added, is 2015 Chinese yen. And WTO, World Trade Organization, is establishment is 1995, because this 1945 or 1944 one organization got established, that is GATT, General Agreement of Tariff and Trade. So that was till the 1995 1st January it was existed, 1st April 1994 it is existed. Due to the discussion started in Uruguay round of the 8th round of Uruguay round 1986 to 1994, the argument to continuous negotiations took place. In the 1994 final round, which is the Doha Amendment, made this conversion of GATT into WTO. GATT into to replace the GATT, WTO, World Trade Organization came into picture. Headquartered at Geneva, Switzerland, 164 member countries. Afghanistan is the most recent which is joined in the WTO, that is 2016. Major functions are trade agreements, monitoring and implementation of these agreements, dispute between the countries in part with the trade, and building a trade capacity and outreach. These are the 5 basic main functions of the WTO. And WTO agreement includes agreement on agriculture and general agreement on trades and services, and trade related intellectual property rights, trade related investment measures, technical barriers to trade, sanitary and phytosanitary measures. These are the agreements under the WTO. Six agreements are there and 5 major functions are there. Clear? That's about today's session. Bye. So this is a summary of total 3 important organization. So all the important aspects only I discussed. Forfeiture meaning. First, cancellation of shares when unpaid. Cancellation of shares when unpaid is called as a forfeiture. This is what a forfeiture meaning. But how to account for it and how to do the calculation of capital reserve and entries also. When we issue the shares, first entry we will write is that when we issue the shares, when the shares are issued, we will write the journal entry, bank to share application and share application to share capital, share allotment to share capital, share first and final call to share capital. Like this we will write. So whenever we are cancelling these shares, if they paid allotment, if they paid application but final call not paid, because of non-payment of the calls only we are cancelling the shares, then in case of forfeiture, the journal entry, at the time of forfeiture, the journal entry will be the journal entry. How to write? First, whatever credited, it will be debited now. Whatever credited, it will be debited. In all the cases, share capital was credited. Now share capital will be debited. Share capital account debtor to what? To what we need to do? To share forfeiture account. Forfeiture account. In this, how much we need to mention? Whatever paid amount will be there now, that we will be sending to one locker account is called as a share forfeiture. The amount that we collected already on the shares will be sending it to share forfeiture, and the remaining will be unpaid amount. Because of this only, that is unpaid calls account. Unpaid calls account. Either it could be a allotment or first and final call. First call or etc. Final call also. It could be anything. This is a usual journal entry, right? Usual journal entry is that share capital account data to share forfeiture account and to unpaid calls account. Bus. This is a journal entry. Now out of this forfeiture, suppose there is a 100 number of shares, 10 rupees face value, which is total 1000 rupees. Out of this only 5 rupees application is paid and 3 plus 2 allotment and first and final call not paid. So that is, suppose say 100 into 3 rupees only paid. 3 rupees application, 2 rupees allotment, 2 rupees allotment and 5 rupees is a call, right? Application, allotment, call. So like this only 3 rupees paid and this both not paid. Then in such case unpaid calls account will be 100 shares into 7 rupees will come. Okay, na? Now how the treatment of capital reserve? How the treatment of capital reserve? How much to be transferred to capital reserve? By when the shares are reissued. Look at when the shares are reissued. Reissue reissued at loss, reissued, or else we'll write in this way. Forfeiture account, 100 shares into 3 rupees is there in it. Out of this, 70 or 80 shares, 80 shares reissued at what? 9 rupees per share, assume 9 rupees per share, and not reissued, not reissued will be remaining 100 minus 80, 20 shares. This 20 shares collected amount is 3 rupees. This 20 into 3, 60 rupees will be there in the share forfeiture account only. Share forfeiture account only in the balance sheet liability side. In balance sheet liability side it will come. They will show which are not yet reissued, right? Which are not yet reissued. Whereas which is reissued, actually 80 shares, their reissued value is 80 into 9, which is bank account debtor. You are getting 9 rupees, bank account debited, 80 into 9 debited, and 2 share capital 80 into 10 rupees. This is the total 80 rupees, 800 rupees you need to get it. But you got only 720, right? Now the remaining 1 rupee is a loss. How you will set off this loss? You will be taking this loss amount of 1 rupee, which is 10 rupees minus 9 rupees, the discount na, that 80 into 1 rupee, which is 80 rupees. You will be taking this from forfeiture account. Forfeiture account. Now we have already having how much? 100 into 3 is there, but out of that 80 shares only. Out of 80 into 3 shares, 80 into 1 rupee, 1 rupee got utilized. Correct? Huh? 1 rupee got utilized. So now out of that, how much is remaining is available? You have used this forfeiture account balance for loss on the reissue. For loss on the reissue. For loss on the reissue you have issued. So now in the forfeiture account, 1 rupee got utilized. How much amount will be transferred to capital reserve? Out of the 80 into 3 rupees, 80 into 2 rupees. So 80 into 1 rupee got utilized. 80 into 2 rupees which is left over now on the reissued shares only, that is 160 rupees will be transferred to capital reserve. That is equal to forfeiture account debtor 2. Forfeiture account debtor 2. Capital reserve account 80 rupees. Sorry, 160 rupees. 160 rupees. And this is 160 rupees. Clear? That's it, bhai. As simple as that. Very simple concept. Whenever they are asking a capital reserve, think only about the reissued shares forfeiture account balance rather than thinking all the number of shares which got forfeited. Only we should consider reissued number of shares forfeited balance account. Remaining balance in that only will be transferred to particular. Am I clear? Chalo bhai, this is a very well known concept. Now next concept. Please watch the video again so that you will understand. Next concept will be what? There are three types of economy we are having in the business environment. One is socialist economy, which is nothing but a planned economy, and capitalist economy. After that, mixed economy. Right? Three types of economies will be there. Again, repetition is not possible, guys. Please try to understand, need to discuss. Please look into the journal entry again. I will not repeat this. Look at. So, in the socialist, what will be there? Government role will be high or less. Here, government role will be high or less. What role will be there? Government. Guys, do hit a like button, guys, if you like this session. High control of the government. High control of government. But here, no or little control of the government. Little control of government. Here, partial, like it is partial control, partial. It is as per the demand and conditions only. Right? No control of the government, it will be both partial. Now, what more need to discuss with respect to socialist? Who will be determining the prices? Who will be determining? Here, high control of the government means government will set the price. Government will set the price. And here, demand and supply, market forces will be there now. Demand and supply forces, market forces will determine the price. Okay? And in this mixed, price ceiling and price flooring will be done by the government. Means till some extent control, price ceiling and flooring will be done. Minimum price is a flooring. Minimum price that every company has to sell, and maximum price that company should not sell. Beyond this, that is a ceiling. Ceiling is a maximum price, MRP maximum retail price. Flooring is the lowest price. That is a mixed. In this, it will be there, but beyond that, it is government is not much restrictive in nature. Both it is mixed. Right? So these are the two important points with respect to this one. Bus, nothing much. Next, next concept. Security premium used for, very good. Section number 52 of the Companies Act. Section 52 of Companies Act 2013. First, security premium will only utilize for used for following purposes. Following 5 purposes. Following 5 purposes only. That is why only is written. They should not use for any other. First, buyback of the shares. For buying back, you can utilize the security premium. Next, to issue the fully paid up bonus shares. Fully paid bonus shares. And to write off preliminary expenses and to write off the preliminary expenses as well as what? To write off the preliminary expenses as well as the discount on issue of shares. Right? Next, fourth one. To pay the premium on redemption of the shares. Premium on redemption. Only premium amount. Only premium amount. Right? And not only this, to write off the capital losses. Actually, the capital losses include like this discount on issue of shares is there, not like that. To write off the loss on capital losses, big losses you can able to write off. Fully paid up bonus shares, redemption of only preference, the redemption of only premium will be redeemed. Capital losses. Buzz by. These are the things, 5 main purposes where the security premium will be utilized as per the Companies Act 2013. Up to next concept, छोटा सा easy concept. Issue expenses is that only by discount on issue of shares. Capital loss include that only. Next concept, in the income tax, house property, income from house property, GAV calculation, gross annual value, how to calculate GAV and how to arrive at an annual value and what are the steps and sequence. They are also asking a sequence and steps. Right? The sequence and step number 1. First, step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. 3 simple steps is to be followed. Nothing big steps. Step number 1, identify the municipal value and compare this municipal value with what? Compare this municipal value with what? Fair rental value. Municipal value decided by the rent control, the municipal authorities. Fair rent matlab the rent which you are getting in the neighbor place, in your place, what the neighbors whatever they are getting. Fair rent matlab the neighbor people, they will get a rent on their properties na. The same rent will be counted over here. As per the Rent Control Act, a fair rent will be calculated. First, this municipal value will be compared with a fair rental value. Then you need to pick up whichever is higher of this municipal value and fair rental value. After that, higher of the both, take that higher amount, the value of step number 1 outcome will be compared with what? It will be compared with the standard rent. So it will be compared with the standard rent. Standard rent. Then whichever is lower you need to take out of this step number 1 and standard rent, whichever is lower. This lower value we call it as usually expected rent. What are the outcome of this both of the two, which of the below is there na? That is expected rent. This expected rent, which is step 2 outcome, will be compared with the actual rent. Will be compared with the actual rent. Will be compared with the actual rent. Right? Now, in comparison of actual rent, while comparing actual rent, what we need to take care? You must tell one point to me over here. While comparing the actual rent, in actual rent, what we need to include, what we should not include. This actual rent should not include. This actual rent should not include what? From the actual rent, always remember, this is the 2021 question. From the actual rent, we should remove unrealized rent. Unrealized. Suppose out of the total 12 months rent, you received only 11 months, 1 month is unrealized. You have to consider only 11 months. Then this actual rent you need to consider. So this final amount you need to take over here. After that, now, after comparing these both, whichever is higher, whether actual rent or else this expected rent, whichever is higher, that will be the gross annual value. Gross annual value. Right? Gross annual value will be taken up. Now gross annual value we have taken by. But here there is a one question. The loss due to vacancy. Some time period we don't have any tenant is there in our house. That is on vacant position. Loss due to vacancy. Keeping it idle. So you lost a rent. You lost a rent. When you lost a rent, from where you will deduct this amount? From where you will deduct this amount? Tell me. This is also key point. Loss due to vacant position of the land, of the property. Do we need to reduce it from the GAV or do we need to reduce it from the actual rent? From where it is we need to reduce? Actual rent already it includes unrealized rent. So that unrealized rent you are removing now. Unrealized rent you are removing. Now only realized rent is there. Then loss due to vacancy. You had a loss due to vacancy that you need to remove from here only GAV. Usually from here only you will remove. From the GAV only it will be removed. Okay, deducted from the GAV only. That's about it, boy. Simple. These are sequential steps also been asked in the recent examination. Sequential step. How the steps will be calculated? Expected rent and annual rent and the penalty, all these got asked. Not again, actually loss due to vacancy we have not considered anywhere. Nah. The period of actual rent only we have considered. From the GAV, you can look at from the GAV, after arriving at a GAV, you can remove the municipal taxes. Right? Next concept. Next concept. Which one? ITR to tomorrow, bhai, not today. No ITR. Perfectly elastic. Perfectly inelastic. Right? Relatively elastic. Relatively inelastic. And unitary elastic. Unitary elastic. Right? Whatever that you people expected, that is not there a topic. Paper 2 commerce is going on, bhai. I think screen is visible, huh? Acha, not visible. Okay, sorry. Tell. Perfectly elastic. How the behavior of the demand and price. Here a small change in price, small change in price, change in price will lead to infinite change in demand. Infinite change in demand, right? So how the curve will be looking like? X and Y axis. So here horizontal axis will be there. Horizontal in nature, right? Elasticity is equal to infinity. In this case, elasticity is equal to infinity in nature. Next, perfectly inelastic, ulta. Perfectly inelastic, ulta. That is, change in price will not be leading into change in demand, zero change in demand. The price is getting changed, there is a change in price, but because of that change in price, no response in the demand, no response in the demand. In such case, the curve will be vertical axis. The curve will be vertical axis. Here, vertical will be the curve shape, vertical. Demand curve is vertical and parallel to the y-axis. This is demand curve is parallel to the x-axis and horizontal in nature. Next is the relatively elastic in nature. What is relatively elastic? Change in price or else change in demand is more than the change in price. So the price is changing by 10 rupees, but the demand is reduced by more than 10. That is, it could be 15 or it could be 20 or 20. It is 10% of change in price, but 30% of change in demand. You can see change in demand is more, relatively elastic. Change in demand is more. Then in such a case, it will be, the curve will be looking like a flatter in nature. The demand curve will be the change in, this is the usual sequence, usual price and demand. Now the change in price, the price is increased from here. How the demand will fall down? Demand will fall down like this. Here it is more, the change in demand is more, this is very less. So in such a case, this will be like flatter. This is a flatter. Right, next, relatively inelastic in nature. This is elasticity more than 1. More than 1. That is the situation. And elasticity less than 1. Proportionate change in demand is less than, this is actually y equal there. Less than the change in price. So change in price is more as compared to the change in demand. How the curve will be written? Curve, this is the price, this is the demand, usual. But a change in price is slightly high. So demand will be only some changing. This is the smallest, this is the highest portion of the price. Price is high, change in demand is very less. In such case, it will be, the curve will be looking like a steeper. Curve will be steeper in nature, where elasticity is less than 1. Less than 1 it is. Alright guys, that's about the elasticity. Now final one is there now, which is okay. This is change in demand and change in price. Both are equal. Both changes are equal. That is what a unitary elastic. Here the curve will be it is a rectangular hyperbola. A rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola is equal to 1 situation. Now please tell me, understood or not? Clear, bhai? So this is what you can just take a screenshot if you wish to take. Next concept, please. Because anyway, I am not considering your request of the topics. Huh? Next, here only I think we can take markets तो थोड़ा highest portion by. Let us try to take markets. Perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic, and oligopoly. Right, bhai? Fast you tell me, I will follow you. Perfect competition. How many number of sellers? Large number of sellers and buyers. Sellers and buyers. Same way, large number of sellers and buyers. Here, only one single seller. Here, few large sellers only. Many buyers will be there, few large sellers. And here, perfect competition. Who will decide the price? Industry will decide the price. Industry will be the price industry will be the price maker. Firm will be price taker only taker. Here, price will be decided by the seller. But in the monopoly, either price or quantity. Any one only controlled by the monopolistic, not both. Monopoly is having a feature only any one of the price or a quantity only, any one only. Any one only will be controlled, not both at a stretch. Correct? Yes, here firm will be the price maker and taker both. And in a monopolistic situation, In the monopolistic situation, actually price decision in the monopolistic situation is somewhat typical because we cannot say anything about it. Only a partial control of the price, because different products na, due to different products, every product is having different, right? And oligopoly, few sellers will decide the price. Who will decide the price? Actually here price is going to be rigid, price is going to be constant, price rigidity to avoid price war. To avoid price war. ठीक है भाई? Now product. Here large number of solutions, buyers and industry will decide the price. Homogeneous product, similar, same product by the all, homogeneous. Here single product, that is why he is a monopoly. Single product, any single, where he is expert, where no competitor is available. And here monopolistic, different heterogeneous product. And here oligopoly, but the product will be, is it single product or multi product? What in oligopoly? In the pure oligopoly, homogeneous. In the differentiated oligopoly, heterogeneous. Right? Pure oligopoly, it is homogeneous, and differentiated oligopoly, other than the single, then it will be a few. Now tell, is there any other things need to discuss? Here pre-entry and exit. Here also free, but here and here restriction of entry and exit. Here also restrictions on entry and exit, not free. Next to what? This one is an elasticity. And curve also. Elasticity and curve. Here perfectly elastic. Which is, I think, E is equal to infinity. And this is inelastic. This is because why it is inelastic, demand will not respond much over here, inelastic in nature. That is why demand will not respond much over here. Here usually downward sloping demand curve in the both monopoly and monopolistic. but monopolistic, downward sloping, but more elastic in nature. Relatively elastic. This is E is more than 1, right? More than 1, and this is E is less than 1 inelastic. Whereas in this kinked demand curve, given by whom? Kinked demand curve. This is given by Paul Sweezy. All right. Monopolistic till the kink, like this curve will be there, na, kinked demand curve. It is more than 1 and this is less than 1, like that it will be mix of both. It is because of that only it will be kinked demand curve. Kinked demand curve, Paul Sweezy. That's about the total markets by.
If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and please like my video and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.